What is going on, my people? We are finally back again, bro. Hope everyone's doing absolutely fantastic. You're done already. Family Gal's favorite is back again, bro. Here to preview everything that there is to preview for Matchday 37 in the Premier League. Some of the topics that we'll cover in this video include Nottingham Forest taking on Arsenal, Manchester City who will be taking on Chelsea, a massive fixture at the A-Head. Can they possibly clinch the title this weekend, fam? And then we also have Liverpool taking on Aston Villa, and much more. And also the Champions League final, fam. Manchester City against Inter Milan should be very exciting. We're going to preview all of that stuff. If any of that does interest you, please stick around. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend, and let's get it cracking, bro. So Matchday 37 does of course kick off on Saturday, May 20th, when Tottenham Hotspur take on Brentford. Tottenham were awful in the last game against Aston Villa. Really did nothing, fam. The only thing they did was get a penalty. I struggle to see how they're going to have motivation to, put in a performance in this game. Because if we're being real, their top 4 hopes are dead. And as for Brentford, they don't have too much to play for as well. They are pretty safe where they're at in the table. So they don't have too much to play for. They're also going to be missing Ivan Toney for 8 months or so. I don't know if you guys have heard that, but Ivan Toney has been banned from any sort of football for 8 months for apparently breaching some kind of gambling rules, something like that. So it is going to be a massive loss for Brentford, but because it's like towards the end, the end of the season, or it's the end of the season, I don't think it'll have too much of an impact in this game. Next season is going to be a completely different story, but in this game, I don't think it'll affect them too much. I know Mbeumo is also a really good player as well. So yeah, I really don't think they'll struggle too much. Tottenham, they are favorites going into this game. They are playing at home, and for whatever reason, Tottenham always seem to scrape something at home, even if their opposition is better than them or in better form going into their stadium. So I don't know. As much as I do think Brentford can put in a performance and get a result, I think Tottenham will probably come out on top. So with that being said, I do feel it's going to be a very split game, but I do think there will be a winner. That's why I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for Brentford. Following that, we do of course head over to Anfield, where Liverpool will be taking on Aston Villa. Liverpool have been looking good for quite some time, at least the last 6 to 8 weeks. They've been looking good, picking up some good results, fam. The last game against Leicester City was really good. Curtis Jones, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Mo Salah were the standout players. And as for Aston Villa, they've also been doing some good stuff as well, but in recent weeks they've been a little shaky, just a little bit. They won their last game against Tottenham Hotspur 2-1, which was a good win. But this is Anfield, fam. I've said this so many times. Anfield is a very tough place to go. I don't care what team you are. It's never the easiest task going up to that stadium and getting any sort of result. I do favor Liverpool heavily going into this game just based on the way they're playing and the form that they are on. And yeah, I think they can get a win, a comfortable win from this game. So with that being said, as much as I do think Liverpool can get a clean sheet, I don't think they will. That's why I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Liverpool. After that, we do of course head over to the Molineux Stadium, where Wolves will be taking on Everton. Wolves didn't say anything in their last game against Man United. A very quiet game. I think they maybe could have gotten a draw, maybe, but it was a very quiet game, very flat. Just was not their day. And as for Everton, they got absolutely outclassed by Manchester City at Goodison Park in their last game. They lost 3-0, if I remember correctly. Absolutely outclassed, bro. It was ridiculous. Every point does matter for Everton at this stage in the season, fam. They need a result from this game. They need a win. If we're being honest, a draw would be pretty decent. It would be decent, but just to be safe, they need a win. And I don't know how they're going to get a win, because going up to the Molineux is also a tough place to go. I struggle to see Everton getting the result they want from this game. So with that being said, I might be wrong in saying this, but I think Everton might do just enough to get a result in this game. That's why I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this game. However, Wolves are ever so slightly my favorites to get the 3 points from this game. I think they can do it, but Everton, for me, I think they might be able to get a 1-1 draw from this game. Moving on, we do of course head over to the Vitality Stadium, where Bournemouth will be taking on Manchester United. Bournemouth, absolutely awful in their last game against Crystal Palace, losing 2-0. Very flat performance. And then Man United, they done all right in their last game, fam, against Wolves. It was a little flat, but the key moments, like, like the chances that they had and created, they made the most of them. That's why they won 2-0. So I do applaud them for that. Man United are still battling it out for that top 4 with Liverpool. They need to win this game in order to, keep that position, set in place. So a win here is essential. Yeah, it is going to be a tough one though. I know Bournemouth is going to give them a hard time. They are pretty safe where they are. They are on the lower end of the table, but they are safe. But I'm pretty sure that they're not going to let Man United just come over and take the 3 points. I do think they're going to give them a hard time. So with that being said, as much as Man United are my favorites to get the 3 points in this game, I do think Bournemouth will give them a hard time. That's why I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in this game. If Man United get anything less than a win from this game, it puts loads of pressure on their final game of the season. We then, of course, head over to Craven Cottage, where Fulham will be taking on Crystal Palace. Fulham in recent weeks have been doing well. They've done well in their last game against Southampton when they defeat them and relegated them altogether. Vinicius has probably been their most impactful player in recent weeks. He's been in great form. And then as for Crystal Palace, they also done tremendously well in their last game when they won Bournemouth, as mentioned already, 2-0. Man like Eze, bro. This guy is just on absolute smoke this season. This is going to be a pretty exciting game. I think Crystal Palace can definitely get the 3 points in this game. However, just considering how Fulham have been in recent weeks, they're not going to make it easy for them. And then it is in the back of my head that Crystal Palace form away is not the best, especially in recent weeks. Whenever they go to away grounds, they just completely black out. They completely shut down. So that is playing in the back of my head. So with that being said, I genuinely can see a win for either side. It is going to be a very leveled game, but I think Crystal Palace just might come out on top. I think they might be able to put in an away performance. That's why I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for Crystal Palace. We then, of course, have Nottingham Forest taking on Arsenal. Nottingham Forest, they drew their last game against Chelsea 2-2. What a match that was. And Arsenal absolutely got pinned to the wall like a red light districting in their last game against Brighton, bro. They got absolutely outclassed. This game would have had a lot on the line had they not lost the last game against Brighton, but unfortunately for Arsenal, that's not the case. I think they can get 3 points from this game, but Nottingham Forest are not going to make it easy. If you guys recall early in the season, Nottingham Forest actually drew with Manchester City, so Nottingham Forest, they can definitely get something out of this game. I really struggle to see Arsenal putting a strong performance in this game, especially since they know that the chances of them winning the Premier League are pretty much dead. They're absolutely gone. So I think that is going to be playing into their mind. And that's why I think Nottingham Forest are going to take advantage of a wounded Arsenal. However, Arsenal, as we've seen in phases of the season, when they have the pressure off of them a little bit, they manage to just put in world-class performances. But anyways, as much as I do believe that Nottingham Forest can get a draw from this game, I am going to go for an Arsenal win. I'm going to go for a 3-0 win for the Arsenal. But again, I think Nottingham Forest, if they dig deep enough, I think they can definitely get a draw from this game and maybe a win. Heading into Sunday, we do of course head over to the London Stadium where West Ham will be taking on Leeds United. West Ham were really poor in their last game, losing 2-0 as I mentioned already. And as for Leeds United, they drew 2-2 in their last game, and they also got a red card when they took on Newcastle. Was an awful performance from them. West Ham, I think the fact that they are in the Conference League final, fam, is going to give them a boost of confidence. Yeah, they don't have too much going for them in the Prem, but they are coming back to their home stadium, so I think they're going to want to put in a performance for the fans. At least I'd like to think they would. But anyways, this might be a level game. I know West Ham's minds might be a little bit in La La Land, considering that I think they're more focused on the fact that they're in the Conference League final. But Leeds United, they still have loads to play for, so I don't know. I struggle to see Leeds United get any kind of result from this game. That's why I'm going to go for a 2-0 win for West Ham. After that, we do, of course, head over to the Amex Stadium where Brighton will be taking on Southampton. Brighton got pinned to the wall like a red light district team, bro, in the midweek when they took on Newcastle, losing 4-1, bro. It went to 4-1 in the blink of an eye. I thought it was 2-1. It was 2-1 for quite some time. Like I think up to like the 80th minute or something. It was 2-1. I was like, okay, this game done and dusted. Brighton not really saying much. But then it went to 4-1. I was like, my days, bro. And for Southampton, I mean, they don't have anything to play for anymore. They lost their last game against Fulham 2-0, and they got relegated. So I struggle to see them having any sort of motivation in this game, because whether they get a win or not, it doesn't really matter. Brighton do still have loads to play for. They want to secure their spot in a European competition, so a win here is essential, and I do think they can get a win here. This is going to be the perfect game to bounce back from after that heavy defeat against Newcastle. I'm going to go for a 3-0 win for Brighton. The last and final fixture on Sunday for Matchday 37 in the Premier League is at the Etihad Stadium, where Manchester City will be taking on Chelsea. A chance to possibly clinch the title this weekend, fam. Manchester City done well in their last game against Everton. Absolute massacres from Ilkay Gundogan. And in the Champions League, my days, fam, I have never ever seen a second leg so good from Manchester City. What a performance. They absolutely blew away European giants Real Madrid, fam. 4-0, 5-1 on aggregate. What a performance, fam. What a performance that was. They have officially booked their spot in the Champions League final, where they will be playing Inter Milan. It should be interesting, fam. It should be very, very interesting. Manchester City are in serious contention for a treble. They do, of course, have the FA Cup final against Man United before their Champions League final. I seriously struggle to see how Manchester City can't win every single trophy, including the Premier League. I really, really don't. This is probably one of the best teams that Pep Guardiola has ever assembled, if not one of the best. It's not my personal favorite. My personal favorites are 17-18 and the 18-19 squad, but this is right up there. If Manchester City, if this squad goes on to win everything that there is to win, there's no doubt about it that this is most likely Guardiola's best ever side. And as for Chelsea, they have caught a little bit of form in recent weeks. They might be able to get a draw, but considering how well City is right now and just the loads of confidence this team has, I struggle to see Chelsea getting anything from this game. So with that being said, maybe some of you are also aware that if Arsenal get anything less than a win from this game, it automatically does hand the title over to Manchester City, and all Manchester City need to do is get a draw if that does happen. But I think Manchester City are going to win this game. I'm going to go for a 5-1 win for Manchester City. The last and final fixture for Matchday 37 in the Premier League is, of course, on Monday at St. James Park when Newcastle take on Leicester City. It should be a juicy encounter. This really, really should. Newcastle, as mentioned already, absolutely blew Brighton away and they won them 4-1. Absolute masterclass. I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure that they're safe in that top four. They're in third place right now. But Leicester City, I think they're going to get relegated. Bro, like, they're just so bad defensively. Attack is okay, but defensively just absolutely awful. It's just crazy to think that Leicester City won the league in 2016, and then fast forward to now, they're on the verge of getting relegated. I really struggle to see Leicester City putting any kind of performance in this game. I think Newcastle will cruise past these men, but who knows, fam? Maybe we're in for a surprise, fam, but I really do doubt it. I think Newcastle will do their thing. Newcastle at the moment are playing really, really well, full of confidence and doing their thing. They have a solid spot in that top four, currently in third. Leicester City, they're fighting for their lives, fam. They need to do something in this game, and a part of me does feel that they might, fam. Part of me does feel that they might, but maybe I'm being a little bit too optimistic. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in this game. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw, but believe me when I say that Newcastle, I think they can blow these men away. I do, but I think we might be in for a surprise. That's why I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. Aside from that, ladies and gentlemen, the Champions League final this year in Istanbul will be between Manchester City and Inter Milan. Both played great games. Manchester City, as mentioned already, absolutely outclassed Real Madrid. And Inter Milan, they've done well against AC Milan. AC Milan did not turn up, fam. did not turn off. The way they played in the second leg was just as bad as the first. And then for them to concede a goal in the second leg was an absolute dagger to the heart. Yeah, I'm very excited for the Champions League final. Let me know in the comments down below who you think will clinch the title. As I mentioned all season long, for me, Manchester City were my favorites from the get-go, and I do think they clinched the Champions League title against Inter Milan. I'm not saying it's going to be, a walk in the park, because I know Inter Milan defensively are probably one of the best in the world. Their defense is really, really good, and their goalkeeper is also really good. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough one for Manchester City, but I do see them winning. But anyways, fam, I hope you lot did enjoy. If you did, like always, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend. Let me know in the comments down below what match you're looking forward to the most during Matchday 37. What player is going to play the best? What team is going to play the best? And also, what are your thoughts on the Champions League final? Manchester City against Inter Milan. Who will ultimately lift the trophy in Istanbul? And yeah, fam, this is pretty much the end of the season. This is the second to last match day. Next weekend, it all comes to an end, and yeah, I think we're in for a treat, because the next couple of games that we have are going to be very decisive for those teams in the top 4 in a relegation battle. But yeah, fam, like always, I hope everyone's doing absolutely fantastic, and I will see you guys soon.